Welcome back to Hook, the Kayak Angler's Resource. Going to do something a little different this week as I'm just flying solo. Um, Before we get into anything, I'm going to do the obligatory like and subscribe. Obviously, we're trying to build our base so we can reach more people with kayak fishing news and tips and breakdowns, and honestly, to answer more of your guys' questions. So drop a comment, like, subscribe. Checked out hooked the kayak anglers resource.com. It's our online forum. It's completely populated by people who are asking kayak fishing questions and sharing their tips, trailer builds, all those kind of just random questions that only kayak anglers know about and can help you answer with experiences, something that you can't get from going to a big box retail store. It's just populated by kayak anglers and it's for kayak anglers. But today I'm going to do a quick little 8 to 10 minute episode on just something that has kind of hit me here as you know the summer grind this year was really tough for me, and I just focused on all of the wrong stuff this year. I got way too frustrated when I wasn't catching fish. We had flooding here in southeast Minnesota to start the year, so the waterways I normally go to were completely jacked up, and just we went from floods to crazy heat and green algae blooms, and it just was a rough year. And I just found myself getting frustrated, and I took a whole month off because of that. And then recently, I went through some of my old footage and found all kinds of great stuff. And it made me realize that fishing and your fishing successes are not always what's important. And it took watching video clips of my kids coming with me to make me realize I missed it. I missed all of the important things. Today, I looked back on some of the footage and I realized it's not even catching fish that is what makes it fun for some people. It's getting to places that boats can't go, finding new places, exploring, like finding untouched places where hardly anyone probably even gets to. That is what makes kayak fishing special. It's about loading your kayaks down with silly things like squirt guns and catching giant lily pads and hopping out of your kayak and grabbing seashells. It's just all those moments with friends and family and the jokes and the laughs. And that is the stuff that I have now realized that when you're in the grind of a fishing season or tournament season, you forget all of the things that make kayak fishing fun. So we're just going to take a few minutes and share some fun video clips that I made, and I would love to get everyone else's thoughts who's given this a watch. Like, what makes kayak fishing fun for you, or just kayaking in general? What makes kayaking enjoyable? First, I would love to share kind of a video I made about getting to places where boats can't go. If you own a fishing kayak, and especially if you own a nice one that's got a motor, you're going to hear it. I'll just go buy a boat. For that money, I could buy a John boat. And one of my absolute favorite things about kayaking is getting to the places that you cannot get to on a boat. Snaking through a good quarter mile of weeds in about 2 inches of water and finding all of a sudden it opens up to this big channel that I had no idea was even there. Hitting the backwaters of the Mississippi in about 2 or 3 inches of water. It's crystal clear water. You're snaking over sunken logs. You're going under fallen trees to find these beautiful little pockets to fish. But the sun's out, the water clarity is insane, and again, these are just places you have no idea are even there, except you're out paddling and you say, hey, let's go through there, and all of a sudden, boom, you find these just unreal, untouched places that a boat could never, ever get to. Finding your way up rivers, and just the serenity and the calmness and wading through and pulling your kayak and hopping back in it and getting your way up to these fishing pockets and going over riffles. It's just all these things that a boat cannot do. It is one of my favorite things to do. And even though I didn't catch anything this day, to me there's nothing better than standing or sitting in a river and just listening to what's going on around you. It's just a completely different experience in a kayak when you can get to areas that boats can't and people normally aren't. The lack of artificial sound, and there's no people, there's no noise, there's just you and the places that you love. And to me, that's something that is just worth experiencing with other people, and it's really hard to rival. And again, you could be told just buy a boat, but then you would never get to these places, and that's really hard to beat. One thing that no one really talks about all the time is that fishing kayaks are capable of way more than just loading them down with fish finders, tons of accessories, 8 to 10 rods. They are far more capable of having just a good time. Camping, hunting, water gun fights, beaches, just going on excursions down rivers, exploring, having fun is something that a lot of us anglers forget to do sometimes. And there is no better reminder of that than taking your family out and having them remind you that it's not all about fishing. Throw in some squirt guns, throw in some beach towels, pack a cooler. These fishing kayaks are capable of way more than just fishing. They are all-out family rigs that are just meant to have fun in. When you are in the grind of your fishing season or tournament season and things aren't going well, you can tend to forget that. And sometimes you just need a more inquisitive mind to show you that having fun is what it's really all about.
Rip, get him!
Slow down, take less gear, and just focus on remembering what made kayak fishing fun for you in the first place. Take in all of the small moments and all of the small wins, whether that's catching a fish or not. Maybe it's the sunset, and maybe it's getting close with nature rather than chasing nature. Or maybe it's a surprise muskie attack when your kid takes your camera and he's filming underwater. Whatever it is, you just need to find the moments that make kayak fishing special to you. Days like that are honestly what I forget about. I hadn't even looked at that footage, and then you go back and look through all of it, and it's like, man, this is a great reminder. And that kind of leads me to the video that recently led to all of this kind of reflection, as a good reminder to just focus on the moments that are fun. Taking the kids out into the backwaters of the Mississippi and kind of having that proud dad moment or proud parent moment of when I was towing my son around just because he's big enough to be in his own, but couldn't quite paddle it. So I kind of had a tether rope between the two of us, and finally he was just like, "Nah, we're done with that." So after a summer of grinding out horrible fishing results, I finally looked back on the year and figured out what was actually really important.
Perfect. All right, man. You are legitimately on your own for the first time.
What? I'm by myself! Dad's not pulling me anymore! Why? Because I don't want him to pull me. Woo! I'll give you a lily pad.
You cycle through all of your footage and you find all of these gems of clips of your kids just enjoying what kayaking is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be all the silly moments and all the experimenting, and sometimes you lose sight of that when you're grinding out tournaments or you're grinding out trying to catch the biggest fish or the most fish, and you get frustrated when you have a bad day. But because of that, you miss all of the wonderment and searching and having fun and playing around.
Ah! No, stop. Okay.
There is no better way to remind yourself that kayaking is meant to be fun and it's special than to view it through the eyes of your friends, your family, or just anyone around you that you care about. Yeah, you might catch some fish along the way, but that's not even what's the most important thing out there. And looking back at some of these moments, that was a great reminder for me after a summer of not doing very well when it comes to fishing. You know, you look back at the smiles and the giant lily pads that they catch, and it really is a great reminder that kayaking and kayak fishing is special. I would challenge anyone and myself to focus on the moments that are truly important. And of course, if all else fails, you can always hit the gritty in your kayak.
Cannonball!
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this short little journey. Just kind of hopefully what you took from this is kind of what I got out of it, which is just slowing down sometimes. And whether you're a rig it to the max or strip it down to the studs kind of angler or paddler, that doesn't mean that you can't still steal a few moments when you're out there and you're in these really exotic areas or areas where boats can't get to, that you don't just slow down and remember why you got into kayaking in the first place. Hopefully that's what you guys got out of it. That's what we got out of it. You know, we are sponsored by Eco Fishing Shop, which obviously is a kayak fishing retailer and accessory retailer, but we do focus on more than that. We want to meet anglers where they're at, or even recreational paddlers where they're at. We want to figure out what's the best for you, and that might be rigging it to just a crazy degree like we've done with some of our other videos. Or it might just be that you want a life jacket, some safety flags, and a paddle because you just want to get to places and relax and enjoy it. And really, that's what we're all about, and that's what the sport is all about. So if you have any questions, make sure to reach out to ecofishingshop.com. You can go ahead and reach out to me, Justin at ecofishingshop.com, or hit us up on Instagram or Twitter. Jump on the forum, ask questions. I do get in there a lot to moderate, but I am not there to make sales. I am there to help people find information and connect them with other kayak anglers who have more experience than even I do. That is the best way to learn, and we want your feedback. So again, like and subscribe, and just share what moments you guys find, or what do you like best about kayaking and kayak fishing. And if you got any more questions, hit us up. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.